Well, let's get more on the story now. We cross to the battlefields of Idlib, where a South African aid worker, Yusuf Abdullah, is based. He is the spokesperson for the Islamic Relief Syria Field Office. Yusuf, thank you very much indeed for joining us. It seems, day after day, month after month, the suffering continues in Syria. What has been your experience there?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, the situation in Idlib is as in all of Syria since like 7 years. Full destruction of the cities, systematic targeting of the infrastructure, health facilities, civil defense centers, schools, and whatsoever. Within the last few days, we are witnessing significant escalation in the attacks. Focusing on the southern countryside of Idlib and the northern countryside of Hama. Our team reported the attacks on the civil defense in Idlib center. It was completely out of service. Also, an ambulance referral system were also hit by airstrike. In addition to more than 20 to 30 air raids on the Shur countryside, in the western countryside of Idlib. Additionally, today, our team also reported several raids on Idlib countryside, mainly in the areas which is close to the front lines with the government areas. Unfortunately, the attacks are escalating, and we are not witnessing an end for this war. And the main target for these attacks are mainly the civilian infrastructure, as I mentioned, mainly the markets, the hospitals. Also, our team reported attacks on 2 hospitals yesterday. One in Has, were completely out of service, and 2 days ago in Kafar Zeta, the cave hospital in Kafar Zeta, also were hit by 2 airstrikes, unfortunately, and both of them were completely out of service.
Yeah. Yusuf, you're describing a very dire, very dangerous situation there. Tell us about the work you do.
Actually, what we are doing at the moment with the local community, we are doing our best to provide the main services for the community. I don't think that many people knows that now in Syria the basic services are not available. There is no electricity, there is no water, there is also barely finding some internet communication to communicate with the out of Syria. To deliver our voice. There is no markets almost. There's people, almost the 80 to 85% of the people are unemployed. So the poverty rate are at the highest level. You can imagine the destruction of the buildings, the main markets, the roads. So everything is like we are not living on the earth, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's Sunday. Many people here in South Africa are relaxing, out shopping. Some are having a braai, some are in the park with their children. What is it like where you are? What is a typical Sunday there?
Actually, as usual, it's like a usual day in Syria. We don't have like any special days anymore since like 7 years. So all the people are just moving around just to secure their daily need, like looking for how to fill their water tank, how to provide some electricity line to charge their batteries for the they need some electricity to run their basic need, the water pumps, whatsoever. So everyone is busy to secure their daily need. Unfortunately, the schools are barely working. There is no enough support. Most of the teachers left the country. The children are sitting without education. The markets are barely finding the main commodities for the people. So it's like something unusual. We did not witness such days before. Unfortunately, the people are living in fear and panic and tension. Because no one knows what the future is holding for them. Everyone saw probably the trilateral summit among Turkey, Russia, and Iran. Unfortunately, there was no final decision about what will happen in the future. Yeah. So the people are very panicked, and they are waiting what will happen, unfortunately.
I want to touch on that, Yusuf. So much uncertainty. We're talking about displacement of people fleeing their homes. I mean, realistically, what sort of future do they face?
Actually, in Idlib now, there is almost like 3 million people. Almost 1 million of them are already displaced from different areas in Syria, like Al-Ghouta, Homs, and the other countrysides, like even from the eastern area, from Deir ez-Zor and Al-Hasaka. So all of these people are now relying on what will happen between in the international community, if there will be a permanent ceasefire. So it's like no one can say what will happen. Everyone is expecting, guessing, predicting that this will be good, this will be bad. But unfortunately, there is no clear and, let's say, satisfying future prediction for any one of the people.
You know, Yusuf, some of the images from Syria are haunting, isn't it? I mean, who can forget that the picture of that little boy sitting in the back of an ambulance with a bloodied face? There we go, we're putting it up, looking so confused, looking so shell-shocked. You know, reportedly his home was hit in a strike. When images like these are beamed across the globe, do you find more people springing into action, actually wanting to help?
Yeah, in fact, we are witnessing such images and photos every day. But this one picture, which were released to the international media, so everyone saw this photo. Personally, I witnessed a lot of horrifying images. I saw in my naked eye amputated children, amputated women, amputated young men. It was like it feels like it's like a hell, unfortunately. Definitely, everyone is looking for permanent peace inside Syria. We are looking for the international community to make an end to this disaster, to at least to give the peace for the children and for the women. At least they can go to their schools and live their peaceful life. We are now witnessing, let's say, an unclear end. Everyone feels that it's come to end, but unfortunately, no one knows how the end will be. Are we going to witness another Aleppo in Idlib? If you remember, by the end of 2016, there was a full evacuation of Aleppo city. And there was a brutal attack on the city, airstrikes and bombardment on the city. There was hundreds and thousands of injuries and casualties, which were then evacuated to Idlib. And after that, there was many critical cases and injuries we should deal with. And the capacity of the hospitals here are not enough to deal with many cases, unfortunately.
You know, how do you cope, Yusuf, as an aid worker? What keeps you going? I mean, I remember covering the conflict in Libya, I think back in 2011, and I remember listening to the constant sound of the crackling of gunshots. And sometimes as a reporter, you have to, put it beside you, and you almost get numb to it. You almost get immune to that sound of the constant crackling of gunfire. Do you find that as an aid worker, you have to do that and just get on with the job and put the fear behind you?
Yeah, definitely. Any aid worker or even any civilian who are living in Idlib at the moment, they have their own coping mechanism. As you mentioned, for example, dealing with the gunfire, dealing with even the voice of war plans, it was like a normal. So we are finding our own mechanism to deal with these cases. We have to manage the stress, especially the aid workers, because we are working under very difficult conditions. So we should be balanced, so we can do our work. It is not I think it is not an easy mission for anyone to do, but the people who are staying in Syria at the moment, they should find their own mechanism to deal with such circumstances.
In terms of aid, Yusuf, what is desperately needed at this time?
At the moment, everything is needed, but if we are going to prioritize the need, the main priority at the moment is the shelter, because we witnessed a lot of evacuation cases from different governorates inside Syria. This is one. Secondly, we are looking for the health services, mainly after attacking the hospitals, there is a lot of reconstruction work need to be done. The basic materials, the first aid materials, the trauma materials, which is highly needed. The food, I mean the wheat flour for the production of the bread. Of course, the education. Most of the schools are almost stopped because there is no regular support for the basic supplies, the basic materials for the schools. Rehabilitation, mainly the water supply. Many areas don't have the water network, so we are doing water tracking for the camps, water tracking for some clusters, which is very challenging for all the aid workers to secure the basic needs for the people.
I guess it's all about touching lives, Yusuf, and helping out where you can. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Yusuf Abdullah is from Islamic Relief Syria Field Office. We thank you.